friends, it is me, Maddie. Welcome back, or welcome if you are new here. Today we are just going to do a little bit of a catch-up on what I have been using my notebooks for lately and how they have been going. We're gonna go over my planners, a couple new journals I got, and then my traveler's notebooks. So let's start with the planner. I have a couple videos about this full system if you're interested in that, but I started off the year using this pocket filofax for my planner, and I used this for all of January, and then I just wasn't feeling like excited about it, so I have switched to something else now. I think it was something about the pocket size that just wasn't landing for me all the way. Weirdly enough, I have used like kind of all of the ring sizes except A5 in the past year. I like pocket on its own, but I'm also using personal rings right now. So what I don't like about pocket is it won't fit easily on the rings of a personal sized binder. So I couldn't easily like write something here, make some notes here, and then transfer it into my personal rings. And you can do that more easily with M5 sized binders. So oddly enough, I feel like I would rather go to M5 or all the way just be in personal. If anyone happens to know a trick for getting like the holes to line up and stuff, I know you can cut off the corner of M5 pages to get them to fit on in personal rings, but I never found like a great way to do that for pocket sized. I did like how I had this set up and it was working well for me, but I was never like super excited to use it. I have pivoted and I am now using this guy. This is a Passport Traveler's Notebook by Traveler's Company that I have had for a while, and I have set this up as my planner. I just did this recently. It's February 7th and I started on February 1st, so it's still a work in progress. I don't have it set up 100% how I would like, but this is my planner and my wallet. But I just have one of these plastic sleeve things. This has card holders in it, but depending on where you place this in your setup, the cards kind of stick out a little bit too far and it makes the cover like not close all the way. If you put this in the middle, it works a little bit better, but I was just slimming down. So anyway, I put this on the outside with just some decoration. I have a craft folder that is looking a little worse for wear. And then I have a monthly book. This is just the undated one from Traveler's Notebook. And I set this up with my trackers and everything. And then I added a pen loop to the other side of this craft folder. This is one issue I'm having with this setup is the pen situation just isn't very good. I don't like how this is so floppy. But these pen loops I got were like way smaller than I thought they would be, and they won't fit these thicker multi-pens that I like to use in my planner. So if anybody has a solution, I would love to hear it. I have seen some wallet, like fabric wallet inserts where they have a pen loop, and maybe you could get that to be made bigger. Maybe I could make that and make it larger. This is also kind of annoying because it makes a little bit of a bump on the back, and I don't have a writing board to kind of mitigate that. I do have the Traveler's Company pen loops that you put on the cover, but those won't fit that pen as well. So looking for a solution for that. I am essentially bullet journaling in the second insert. This is from an insert from Serica's Studio. I realized I showed you my cards, but I have my cards in the back pocket of the zipper thing. But anyway, this is an insert from Serica Studio. It is 52 GSM Tomoe River paper, and the grid is like, I don't know, 3.5 millimeters maybe. But I'm essentially bullet journaling in here. I set up 4 weeks of weeklies in a few different formats just to kind of see what I like. And then I have a media recap and a monthly recap. And then I can do lists, short-term lists and stuff like that in here. And then I have a daily. So I can go through that in more detail once I've used it a little bit longer and have it set up how I like. I don't know, something about this cover is just so like, it feels good in my hands. I'm realizing that that is something that's really important to me, like the in-hand experience, if you will, really shapes how much I connect with the system. It's also small and it's also much lighter than pocket rings, I guess because it doesn't have big metal rings. Not that this one even has big rings, but anyway. And I think the charms and getting to customize the elastics and stuff like that are fun, and it fits in all my bags. The one thing I might change with this is adding a third notebook, but we'll get to that in a moment. Okay, so that's the planners. Now moving on to my new additions recently. We have this, just got this like 2 days ago. I'm gonna mispronounce all of the brand names of this, so I'm sorry. This is a leuchtturm pocket notebook. I believe it is, I would call it A6 Slim. And I'm just using this for my messy notes. Normally there aren't tabs. I just put tabs to tab pages that I can show you. So we'll go into more detail on that in a moment. And then this is a A6 Hobonichi 5-year that I started in January. And I put my little tabs on, which is pretty. And that is in the Tragen cover. It does actually fit so long as you don't put this side of the cover in the pocket over here. This is one of my favorite covers. I love this color, so I'm really glad I got to use this for this chunky little book. And then this is a Moleskine 18-month daily notebook in a size, I'm not sure what size this is in. And it's just a day per page going from July 2025 to December 2026. This is on sale for like $10 and it's like a 600-page book. It is comically huge, but I decided I would grab it, and I'm just gonna kind of ignore the dates and use it as a notebook for whatever I see fit. I think I'm gonna do morning pages in here. I believe this would last me most of the year if I do like 3 pages in here daily. So I literally just got this. I don't have too much to report there, but we can talk about the 5-year. I am gonna do an in-depth video on this as well once I'm more into it, but if you're unfamiliar, essentially this is the 5-year journal from Hobonichi. You have a page per day and then a box for each year on the left and then a blank page on the right. And I have been thinking about the different ways that I can use this. I have really just been writing like a little summary of what I do each day over here, and then if I need more space I will go over on this side. But one thing to note about this layout is that I was kind of using this as like extra space if I have more to say than will fit in this box, but the quote fills in that gap for the last year, which honestly I think will be okay because I don't always fill that space up. So I kind of figured, you know, within 5 years I probably won't have more to say each day. I am trying to decide how I'm going to approach this. I think I might do something different in it each month. So the first month of January, I just literally did like a summary of the day. Then I was thinking I could do something like answering a journal prompt, the same prompt every year for like a month, writing the news of the day, things like that. So I am still trying to decide what I would like to do there, but we'll see. Once I settle into this one, I will tell you about how I've been using it as well. Last but not least, we have this little guy. This has been one of my favorite things so far this year. I the end of last year. I think I told you all about my little passport traveler's notebook insert that I had just been using for messy notes. And essentially this is the bigger, more pages, upgraded version of that. I've just been using this for everything, literally everything. Book notes, video notes, ideas, quotes, brain dumping, to-dos, doodles, little like journaling thoughts throughout the day. Really anything that strikes my fancy. This is just some examples. These are some notes from a video about some books, some little notes for an event, notes for like a task I need to add to my planner, ticketing information. I was doing some research about the diaries of like published authors, what am I trying to say? Published diaries or journals. I was interested in checking some of those out. Doodling. Notes from a video, YouTube video. Book notes, lyrics with their translations, and then some like planning stuff. So it's literally just whatever I need it to be. And I've been really enjoying just being able to be like messy and not precious with this. The only thing is, I started this on January 21st. It's February 7th, and this is a 120 page book, and I have gotten to 108. So for the price of this notebook, I think it was about $20. Oh, these pages are perforated in the back. That's cool. For the price of this notebook and the rate that I'm using it, I don't think it is necessarily sustainable. Also, I have found that like this is what I want to do in notebooks. And when I was in personal rings, I think I loved that so much because I was doing this on my daily pages. And so I was going back into my planner like all the time, kind of had more exposure to like the tasks that I had written down and I actually needed to do. And so that worked really well for me, being able to see them right there as I was going in really often. But since this has been separate from my planner, maybe that's why the pocket rings didn't really click for me. When I started this, I got another little book for all of these types of notes. I don't know. I think that I need this to go with my planner. So once I'm done with this notebook, I will add a third little like messy notes insert into this guy. And I think that should work well, because this is the thing I enjoy the most, I would say. Yeah, so that being said, I did start to feel like it was a little bit disorganized and kind of overwhelming. So this was inspired by an email or a video, I think, by Rachel in Theory. Where did it go? And so I went through, I processed everything in the book and moved them over to these lists so that everything was like collected and I didn't have to worry about losing anything in the pages. I really liked that, and that's something I'm going to continue to do. So I just have like different lists, essentially: ideas, books, gifts, articles, commonplace stuff, video ideas, other ideas, books and stuff, or no, movies and TV, things like that. After I did that, this felt even better. I don't know, it was sort of a relief, which seems dramatic, but it was nice to know that I had addressed everything in here and had processed everything in here and nothing was getting lost or misplaced. So since then, I have been doing that about every week or so. And right now I'm just moving all that information into some lists I have randomly in the middle of the book, but eventually that's going to go into my personal rings. I'll just keep that process up. So that has been good. Let's see, what else was I going to say about that? Oh, and I did kind of decide to add a key to help with the processing of things, because it can be messy and hard to tell. So I'm still kind of experimenting with this and developing it, but this little star is like an idea or a topic, and then sometimes I will put like an E for email or YT for YouTube or something after that. And then B is for books. I think I have that right here. Yeah. And I've just been circling it so it sticks out a little bit more. And then a dash is for note, and then a dot is for tasks. But I try not to do that in here because I don't want to have to like copy a bunch of tasks over to my planner. That has been working pretty well. And then once I have moved this information to wherever it needs to go, I just put a little check mark. So this has been good. If anyone has a not as expensive notebook situation that I could use for this, I would love some recommendations. Okay, so that is it for the new notebooks. I have a couple of things in my traveler's notebooks I wanted to talk about. Let's start with this one. So this guy has my commonplace, and I was just going to show you a couple extra pages I did the other day. I haven't been in here as much as I want to be, so like the last time was December 2nd. And now we're at February 7th, so but we have reached the halfway point. But I just added some quotes. Nothing too exciting. Forgot to add the margin line on this section though. And then I have my like highlights journaling notebook for the year. I made a mistake with this one. I started it off by, I wanted to do like a recap of everything for 2025, but I haven't been super inspired to keep working on this. So now I feel a little bit stuck because I don't know how many more pages I'll need to like finish this. But I have some little journaling stuff I want to do for January. So I don't know. Sometimes I did this with my commonplace and like travel journaling as well. So next time, I don't think I would start off with a recap, just dive right into the journaling itself. So I might just try to guess and leave some blank pages. At the very worst, I could fill it with photos. But I want to add, I have like monthly recaps of big events and stuff. And then I want to write a little review. And then I want to put my media, places visited, probably some photos, and then my 2025 goals and like assess how that went in here. And then I have just little like, nothing really big has happened this year, honestly, so far. So it would just be little like daily memories in here. And then for this guy, I successfully completed 1 month of gratitude journaling. Yay! So this has been going well. I'm rather proud that I finished. I am going to do that again in February. I have started. I haven't decorated this one yet. No rush, really. That's going good. And then I have been continuing to do my like morning pages stuff in here. Nothing too exciting there. I don't want to share that one. This is the area where I'm having some trouble deciding what I'm going to do with this vertical weekly. And I really like how it looks aesthetically, and it's a good place to use my stickers. I don't want to use my stickers in my 5-year because I don't want that to get too bulky, but I'm just not really like wanting to do it. So I haven't been doing it. I do have all of this information captured somewhere else. So if I decide to go back, I can. But yeah, I don't know. It's feeling repetitive and I need to figure out how to fix that. Essentially, I have kind of been using the Moleskine daily pocket notebook to capture all of this information, but it's not as creative, I would say, because I'm not using stickers in that book either, because it is like a thick little pocket notebook and I don't want it to get more bulky. Between the Moleskine, the 5-year, and this, it's like too much repetition for me. I don't mind some repetitiveness, but those 3 things are like capturing identical information. So I'm trying to think of, I don't know, which one I want to use. This is undated, so part of me is like, I could just save this for later. The Moleskine is dated and the 5-year is dated, so maybe I could just decorate the Moleskine some more. I don't know. I do like having somewhere to use my stickers, and I think these turn out really cute, but I'm a little bit torn on that one. that is my traveler's notebook update. What else do I have to say today? Okay, I actually think that is everything. So I would love to know how your notebooks and stuff have been going so far this year, if you've made any changes or anything like that. Also, if you have any recommendations for the pen loop situation, that would be lovely. Alrighty guys, thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.